and it's time for Bet On It, brought to you by Warhorse Sportsbook, the best place in Nebraska to place your sports bets. Make sure you get to the casinos in Lincoln or Omaha and get out and place your sports bets with Warhorse. DB.
Yeah, I'm telling Severe right now.
About Taylor Mays?
Yeah.
I got to give you credit. So I'm scrolling through Twitter, and I see Pete Thamel report that Taylor Mays is the new secondary coach or safeties coach at Washington. And so I gave you a couple hints.
Yeah, you said, hey, Washington, did you see who Washington just hired as their safeties coach?
Yep.
And I was like, no, who?
And I go, he's from a school you like and got drafted by a team I like, which is not a lot to go on.
Yeah, that is what you said.
And you got Taylor Mays correctly.
On the first guess.
Yeah, on the very first guess, which I was very impressed by. Got to give you credit there.
And it's funny, too, because everybody kind of has those guys that you think are going to be one thing, and either to the good or to the bad, and then they turn out to be the total opposite.
Yep.
It's funny you bring him up because he's one of those guys. And now keep in mind, I talk to Severe all the time. I've known him forever, so there's a lot of catalog there.
And you guys are big draft nerds, so you guys both get into this.
Quietly, Taylor Mays is one of the guys that
one of your biggest whiffs?
He would just hammer me on. I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, Taylor Mays. He's like, hey, DB, I'm telling you no.
That's because
I'm telling you, Taylor Mays. He's like, DB, I'm telling you no.
So you know what's funny about that is I obviously have much less experience with Severe than you do, but I know one of his biggest pet peeves was Taylor Mays' biggest weakness.
Hips.
Yeah. Severe is all, whether it's quarterbacks,
yeah,
whatever. Severe is so laser focused on hips. There's like a handful of things he really nails in on.
There have been some doozies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like,
do you know your worst one off the top of my head? Because I know mine.
I do.
What's yours?
Robert Meacham, wide receiver.
Oh yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Went
to
Saints.
The Saints. Yeah. And I was like, Michael, I'm like, that dude can flourish there. Trust me. He's like, Damon, he can't catch. I was like, but his skills, he's like, he can't catch. I'm like, you can learn how to catch.
Yeah. He didn't learn how to catch.
No. So that's one.
My worst, I'll tell you.
I'll give you another one.
Okay.
That wasn't great. I was actually mad they drafted him. And he is from your school. The school you cheer for that is not Nebraska.
Florida State.
The Steelers drafted him. And he turned out to be a great player for them. And I was livid when they took him.
Give me position.
Outside linebacker.
You're mad.
What era are we talking here?
So this would be, I don't know when you call it. It would be the late 2000s.
I can
early to late 2000s.
See him. Give me the name.
Lawrence Timmons.
Yep.
Yeah, I was beside myself.
He was really, really good.
And he was pretty good.
He was really good. You know my worst one, and it's a bad one.
Why are they showing that?
I don't know.
It's Nebraska.
It's a bad one for me.
Ooh.
I was a Blaine Gabbert over Cam Newton guy.
That's fun.
That's a bad one. That's a bad miss.
That's pretty funny.
That's my all-timer, I think, is I was Blaine Gabbert over Cam Newton. I was watching Cam, and you know me because I like Gus Malzahn's offense, right? So I watched a lot of it. I see what's going on. I'm looking at it, and I go, I don't think he can read a defense. It's one read, and then he takes off. There was a lot of that at Auburn with Cam Newton. I was like, what are you going to do with that? What I didn't account for was the fact that Cam Newton's a total freak show, and that's going to work in the NFL. Yeah, I did not. And then, you know what? I was, you know me, when I think I'm right, I was arrogant in the preseason when Cam's throwing about 38% completion. It's bad. It's a bad, that might be a little low, but it was pretty close to, I think it might have been 42. Yeah. And in the preseason, I'm like, okay. And then he comes out literally week one, throws for 400 yards. I go, this might not go my way.
You're winning.
I've had some doozies.
I was arrogant in the preseason when that was happening.
I'm still not sure. Like just recently, about Washington, tight end at Pittsburgh. I was like, it's gonna be a monster.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm telling you, he's perfect prototype for that offense.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't had the greatest offensive mind since he's been there.
Or quarterback play.
Yeah.
So you're giving yourself a little bit of maybe a little bit of hope there, a little bit of hope on the back end.
Doors always open.
A little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, doors open.
No, I do think it's funny because usually when I'll miss on an eval, I'll think a guy can play
and he can't.
That can't. I very rarely say, especially in basketball. I actually can't think of one off the top of my head in basketball because I'm better at evaluating there, but. I can't think of a guy off the top of my head in basketball, and there's not that many in football where I think he sucks and he's actually can play.
I'll give you another one. Devin Bush.
Oh, yeah.
I thought was going to be.
You know what? It was a pretty big miss for me. I thought Noshawn Moreno was going to be a really good running back.
Noshawn was pretty good, though.
He was all right, but I was enamored with his balance at Georgia.
He just couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
He's legit. I wouldn't say you flamed. I don't want to help you out, but
I appreciate that.
I would not say you flamed.
I was a big Noshawn guy. I was so incredibly just flabbergasted by.
There's a stretch of Georgia
his balance
backs where.
Oh man, yeah, because you had. I mean, Noshawn and Gurley weren't back to back.
No, but you're gonna forget some, so I wouldn't even try.
Yeah, you're probably right, but they had a. I mean, and some of them transferred out and ended up somewhere else, and you still ended up being good. Was it Chubb?
Who was the 5-star that didn't even end up getting drafted?
Who am I missing?
Oh, he ended up at HBCU, didn't he?
Milton.
Yeah. They've had some really, really good backs there.
His high school tape,
unbelievable.
Silly.
Yeah.
It's not even that long ago. You could pull. I mean, he's probably a handful of years ago.
Yeah, I don't think he was that long ago.
Maybe.
I might.
No big deal.
Speaking of recruiting,
what do we got here?
Oh, that's why I saw the Nebraska. Miami 2001 on television.
Yeah,
it's the U.
Oh yeah, we're on 30 for 30 now.
That's unfortunate.
I'm gonna have to change that channel during the break here.
Yeah, no, work on it.
DB, you go. Well, I was trying to get it over to your favorite show on Sportsmanlike.
I do like that.
That was on right before this.
I do like that.
That's your jam.
I do like this show.
Do you have any winners tonight?
Yeah, I got a few.
Since it is bet on it.
Yeah.
What do we got?
So we're doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
We're back. It's not what is it? It's 3 in a row, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it's not quite like the 15 you rolled off earlier this year, but
it's 18. But who's counting?
I mean, you were apparently.
All right, so
we do have a good one tonight,
my buddy told me.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, you should 19-2. I never did get that dinner either.
Tell him to hook you up. Come on.
Yeah, I may bag that one.
A little selfish,
like you have the two with me.
Listen, I could be home. I might be homeless in a month or two. I might need you. I don't know.
What's that?
I gotta save those.
You gotta save them up.
Yeah.
You got Kansas, Iowa State tonight. You have
It's gonna be a sensational game.
-6.5.
Seems like a lot, doesn't it?
It kind of does, but I mean, if we're gonna listen to Channel 3 Sean and think that Iowa State might be one of the best teams in the country,
I'm telling you, Iowa State is fantastic.
And I'm not enamored with Kansas.
And Kansas's backcourt is gonna have their hands full with the clones.
I'm not, especially their offense. I don't love the way Kansas operates. 6.5 feels a little high, but I'm not mad at that number. Not enough to take Kansas. I'm not.
No, I'm with you.
I might go Iowa State there, if anything. Do you have any that you feel real strongly about?
I do.
What do we got?
I love your Jerry Stackhouse lists. Vanderbilt Commodores.
Okay.
I think they're laying 6.5.
I'm bringing it up right now.
To the Gamecocks of South Carolina.
8.5 now.
Ugh.
That must have gone up.
Ugh.
Or maybe it depends on where you get it. But 8.5 seems a little higher than you like.
I like 8.5.
You'll take that 8.5 still?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Vandy's pretty good.
Okay. Who else we got?
Dang, I always want the best number.
Sure.
Muffins. That's what we say for bad words in our house. So don't make
muffins.
Yeah.
I thought you were more of a fudge guy.
I've been trying to wean off of that because there's 2 or 3 of you that have it down to it's aggravating. And the coaches at West, they think it's like hilarious.
You know whose fault that is?
Whose?
Sauter started.
No,
it.
I know.
It's his fault.
I know. and unfortunately, he
nailed it.
I had to take like a double take. I was like, shoot.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good. that was pretty good. And I'm going to take one that, and I like the team that they're playing.
Okay.
But I watch them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The Volunteers.
Oh, against Georgia.
Laying 11.
Ooh. against a pretty game Georgia team.
I told you, if Georgia was ranked in the preseason,
They'd
they would
be-
be ranked higher now.
Yeah, because they're
It's a good-
14-2. They'd probably be top 15.
It's a good basketball team.
I've got it at 11.5.
I like the Tennessee Volunteers.
You like a couple big numbers today. Vandy against South Carolina and Tennessee against Georgia.
Lock it up.
That is bet on it. Are those likes or locks?
Those are locks. And,
Locks.
what I need you to do is lock up changing this channel.
I thought you loved Miami.
Not a different era.
Oh.
Get this off the television.
That's DB. I'm Ravi. Let's bet on it. Brought to you by Warhorse Sportsbook.